Yeah, I have a mirror in my house.
Okay, so we're going to ask you the questions again so we can get this on film. Ready? Okay, we want to know, so we'll ask Jesse and Missy, how long have you been married?
A week.
A week.
A week. How old are you, Jesse?
19.
And Missy?
18.
18. Okay, now, and how old are, oh, I don't want to ask you how old you are, that's offensive, right? How old were you when you were married, Mont?
17.
And Wynette, how old were you?
18.
18. And that was how long ago now?
On the 27th of this month, it will be 67 years.
67 years.
Uh-huh.
Wow. So when you got married, you said they told you you were crazy, or what did they tell you?
Yeah. Just about everybody said, yeah, it just won't last.
Mm.
You're just too young, but we fooled them.
So in the process of that, you know, when everyone says that you were too young and you'd never make it, you had to make some decisions that made you make it. You probably came to some times when it could have failed, and you could have blown it. So do you remember making a choice to not let it fail?
I just assumed it wouldn't.
Really?
I mean, my parents were very good together. That was my experience. I expected the same thing. And his family was good together. Kind of. Like I say, he was the youngest. He had 5 brothers and 5 sisters. He was a tiebreaker.
He was a tiebreaker. 5 brothers and 5 sisters.
Yeah.
Wow.
She had 3 brothers.
Yeah, 3 brothers. So,
And were you, did you have other brothers and sisters then who were married when you got married?
Well, all of them were.
All of them were married. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were the last one of all of them married.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You were the youngest
I was the youngest.
in the family, huh?
They'd all moved out of the house too. I was the only one left home.
Really?
Of course, he got married and
Right.
lived in their own.
Yeah. So do you remember a time when you decided that you wanted your marriage to last?
Well, we kind of decided that when we went to the temple.
Yeah. And when was that? When did you go to the temple?
Big Burn. I didn't hear
When
it.
did you go to the temple
When
to
did
get
we?
married?
On August the 27th.
Did you? You went on your anniversary?
We went when we got married. We got a recommender to go to the temple.
So you were married in the temple?
Yes,
Yeah, you were. Right off, huh?
right up.
Yeah.
I know there were people counting their fingers, but we did it right.
Yeah, yeah, you did it, huh? Good for you.
Yeah.
So, to this young couple, as they begin a week into this, now they're all experienced. They've been married a whole week. They got it all down. I remember when I was married, shortly after I guess it wasn't. We'd been married for a couple of years, and I remember hearing about somebody. I don't even remember who it was, but they told me someone who had been married and they were getting divorced after 10 years, and I remember thinking, how in the world could you get divorced after 10 years? You would have learned it all by then. So now 67 years into it, you have any advice to share with these young people?
All I can say is, remember that we is more important than me. You care for each other. You're going to have differences on occasion, but work them out and don't be. I was telling our kid, there was a commercial on TV. I've only seen it a couple of times, but where the dishes were broken and the people were yelling in each other's face. Don't do that. Work it out as calmly as you can. What's best for the two of you is best for the two of you. Keep that in mind. Whatever. You can tell them your version.
We discussed everything we did together. I mean, when we needed some to spend money for something, we did it, you know.
Yeah, don't get in debt.
We didn't have a lot of big, well, you always have money problems when you're first starting out. You've got a lot of things to do. But we didn't. When we first got married, So at that time, they paid you when you got paid. They give you cash and a deal. Envelope.
They paid you once a week instead of
They give you.
every couple of weeks.
So we didn't get a paycheck
Yeah.
till later.
Mm-hmm.
But we budgeted our money real. She put the money in we got out envelopes, and we put the tithing and the rent.
Groceries.
And we went put all the bills we owed on the envelope, and how much we figured out how much out of each check had to go for each one to make it use our money. So when we get our money, we filled the envelopes, and so we had. When the end of the month come around, we had all the cash there. We act just like we spent it.
Yeah.
Worked.
Wise. Yeah.
It worked pretty good.
Yeah. Pretty smart.
For a long time, and then we.
Yeah.
We had one envelope that said miscellaneous, that we put just a few dollars in, so that if you needed a little bit more for one of the bills, you could take it over there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If something came up that you needed, we could take it out of the miscellaneous and not out of the rent or whatever.
Right. Yeah. That's great.
We had entertainment, everything.
Yeah. Everything all budgeted out. Wise.
We did that for quite a long time, didn't
Yeah, we did.
Smart.
So we got paid for years.
Yeah. Now you were married in the temple.
Yes.
Jesse and Missy they want to get married in the temple. Any advice for them as they're looking towards that?
Well, just follow the rules. Do what you know needs to be done.
I want to read this.
I don't know anything specific.
Yeah.
This in the church.
Oh yeah.
I don't know whether you get this or not.
Right.
This was in the Deseret News. It comes out once a week. They have this section, but anyway, I'll just read this one paragraph. That's from a returned missionary. And he says, as a returned missionary, I want to establish a strong gospel-centered family. From what I observed while on my mission, I knew that to be able to achieve this objective, I must have a good spouse. So that's the first thing.
Looks like you both do.
Yeah, you got a good one.
An education and a job. Though these are not easy to come by, I had great faith that it was possible. I mean, he has the deal, but anyhow, I thought that's pretty good advice. Mainly a good spouse. If you just remember that you love each other and you want to do what some I've heard say, well, he didn't do this or she didn't do that, and it's what he's supposed to do for me or what I'm supposed to, and it's not right. It's just what we do for each other and love each other. And what needs to be done, you do it. Then you get children.
Yeah.
And that changes everything again.
Right. Changes it all again, huh? Now, as they're getting, as they go into this, any particular, something that you did that you're glad that you did? Something practical or spiritual, something that you chose to do that you were really glad you did?
Take some thinking, I don't know. Can't come up with anything immediately. I just went to church and did the job they asked you to do.
Do you think that made a difference with your marriage?
Beg pardon?
Do you think that made a difference with your marriage, going to church? These young kids, these kids have been raised in the church. They go to church. They've done that, but now they have to be in that decision where they got to decide what does going to church and doing what you're asked to do. What does that do for your marriage?
Well, what it does for your life teaches you to do the right thing, to take care of other people as well as each other. I can't give you a specific. It's just something I always did. went and dragged my kids with me.
Sometimes that's hard when you got all those kids. You're thinking, I'm not sure this is worth it, huh?
Our one son said to me one time, he was just little, but he said, "Why do they call it Fast Sunday when it takes so long?"
Yeah,
But
I
you
did that.
teach him to go and listen and do your best. So,
We lived in this little house, we called it. It was just really small. And our kids got a little bigger, and the boys were, of course we had all boys at first, and then we had 2 girls, but anyhow, we was thinking about what we were going to do, and I got an elk permit that year. They used to have a draw out. You could draw out every 5 years. You could put in. And I got an elk permit. So me and my oldest son, it was down on the Mount Edge. It's easy to remember this trip because when we went on this, my son and I went down to camp out down there hunting elk. And when I come home, she had got with this lady that sold real estate and bought us a new house.
Oh yeah, when you came home from
All
the
I
trip.
had to do was sign the paper.
what I did, she was a friend of mine, and I'd driven by this house, and it was for sale. And so she was the real estate. So I asked her to show it to me, and she did. And so I said, the lot we were living on, it was a double lot. And I just asked her if they would take that one lot for a down payment. And she checked with the bosses, and they would. So I had that information for him.
When he came home, it was all ready, huh?
Not really, but it went a lot faster because I'd done that first.
That's good planning, huh?
But yeah, she'll have to be careful.
That was one of the best things we'd done.
Yeah. Yeah, getting a house to be in, huh? That's great. Jesse, Missy, you got any questions for the Farrs? This is your chance, man. 67 years of wisdom. You don't get that every day.
You work everything out. Just remember you love each other all the time. Even when you get in an argument sometimes, you just remember that. And it'll come out. And then you can be married as long as you like.
Like I say, think of the we, not the me. I want it my way. Shame on you. Either one. Yeah. No, that we never disagreed, but we worked it out.
Yeah.
Whatever the problem was.
So, would you share with the hiders?
Okay, I'm not sure.
Would you share with the hiders your after all this experience and the experience you've had with the church, what are you most grateful for?
This man, you will know that I've had a few years of not wellness. He has taken such good care of me and helped me and done everything for me. You couldn't do any better than he's done. And I appreciate that. He's, bless his heart. Things that I should be doing every day, he does. I used to help him out in the yard. He does it all by himself now. And you couldn't find a better guy. He's just been really, really, really good to me. So.
That works both ways.
Anyway.
If we turned it over, she'd be doing it all for me. You know that.
I do. Well, thanks